Hello and welcome to Between Views. I'm your host, Alec Koski, and this is a podcast for discovering inspirational people and learning wisdom through their stories. We hope you enjoy. Alright, welcome to Between Views. Back here for another episode with someone who I've only met very recently. His name is Dennis. He is the owner of an awesome business in the Panamanian countryside called Cuckoo Crazy. He's a craft beer brewer, a coffee roaster, a competitor in coffee cupping contest in Belgium, windsurfing fanatic, and also has an amazing petting zoo, putt-putt and accommodation all wrapped into this lovely little business here. The things that I'm most interested in hearing about today are how he started his journey as a small business owner, and also a little bit of his story about sort of where this passion came from, because it wasn't his original choice in career. So Dennis, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time.
It was nice how you told it all. It makes me feel like, wow, yeah, I've accomplished something here by now.
There you go.
Yeah, how I started the business.
Yeah.
I came about 6 years ago. I was traveling around, kind of looking to leave Belgium because I was always returning. In Belgium, I have a law degree. So anytime I found myself without work or in between jobs, it's like, you return to that, it's easy, you immediately get a job. But it also makes you fall into a loop of always doing that, while my passion had always been more towards flavor stuff. So I studied pastry school in evening school in Belgium, and a year after working in law, I quit and I took up work as a barista, very low paid, just to learn the trade.
Yeah.
I've been in that for a while, and I've done a business in Belgium, but in Belgium it's not optimal. Small businesses don't often make it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're not ruled by the big giants, but small businesses have a tough time paying all of the taxes that are imposed on them.
Yeah.
So I was looking around South America thinking, might be easier there, plus it's sunnier there, it's nicer there. And I was just about to search, like, where exactly. I had come to Jamaica, looked in on it, even looked in on California, but always came back and was, immigration's tough, this is tough, that's tough. And Panama just checked off the most of the list. Immigration was super easy back then. Now it's still easy, but back then it was super easy for a Belgian to come here. You're in US dollars, so you're pretty safe currency-wise, because if you're going to start up a business, these are the things you look at.
Yeah.
It is ruled by law, this country, but they don't impose too much, so you don't get too much control left and right. They just let you do your business. And then I fell on this little terrain while coming to see Berassi.
Yeah.
And the 2 weeks I was here, it was windy, super windy, so quickly decided, said, like, I'm going to do that there.
Yeah.
On the way home on the plane, already planning out where the casitas needed to go, how the business needed to be.
And windy has nothing to do with your business, does it? That's more to do with windsurfing, right?
Well, yeah. I had thought, like, in the beginning, look, if there's a base for it there, why not? I'll start renting out boards. I bought up a lot of, like, secondhand old boards in Belgium, being like, I have a little bit of an equipo if other people want to get on the water with me. But that's just not here.
Yeah.
There's no tourism for that here,
So the two things I'm hearing was, when you're looking to make a business, because I didn't know that you came down here looking to do that straight away. So,
well, not thinking like I want to get out of Belgium, and if I'm going to get out of Belgium, that is what I can do.
So you didn't want to be in Belgium. So that was a motivator for you to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I had multiple reasons why not. Nothing awful about Belgium or anything. No, Belgium's wonderful, but Belgium's a hard place to live financially. You need to work hard because you get a beautiful standard of living, but you need to work hard to have that standard of living. And Belgium, for me, like I have a disease that's called cluster headaches. It's seasonal. So you have way less of it if you're where there's no 4-season system and stuff like that.
There you go.
So, and I wanted to be somewhere warm. I mean, windsurfing in Belgium is, you've heard your friend, it's awful in the channel. It's cold, it's shitty. Like here, if I go windsurfing, I just step out in my board shorts towards the water, grab my stuff, I'm out.
And go. The water's perfect, the wind's not cold. It's lovely. Okay, so you were looking for a location and you found one that kind of matched you because of what I'm hearing is ease. Like it had a lot less restrictions for moving here, for immigration.
Yeah.
So like there was a lot less administration you had to do to come down here in the first place.
The administration, there was administration to do, but it was all very straightforward. And if you look at it from a lawyer's stand of view, like I could even read it already, even though my Spanish wasn't that good. Just on the fact that it's civil code, Belgium and here is very similar due to the Code Napoleon being the start of it. So for me, it looked so easy. In the other Southern American countries, you can immigrate, but the process takes a way longer time. So you're way longer in the can I, can't I, am I starting a business and then maybe be kicked out of this country. Here it was quickly done and safe. It's a fact. Panama is overall safe in many ways. Like also the coin doesn't devaluate all of a sudden.
Because it's US money.
Yeah, but now, I mean, 6 years after the fact, this year's been a year that it's been like, the situation here is kind of getting tenser. For this country, this is pretty tense.
Yeah. So at the moment, just for reference to that, there are some protests going on related to mining down here in Panama. So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So it is pretty tense, road blockages, quite hard to get around and transport. I'm assume that it's been hard to get goods during that as well. Certain things have stopped coming down the highway.
At the moment, from city to here is no problem. That was a week or so, but okay, a week you got stock for a week, and you pass over the week. The next week they came through, but I now basically have to send coffee straight to city with a plane. It's gonna go with a plane. We do no express. They're sending a plane now. I gotta send it with a plane to the direct client of my client. So I roast for a farm in Boquete, and normally I just send it there. They distribute. But they got a big client in city waiting on its coffee, but they can't get out of their province. Chiriquí is the one that's mostly blocked up still. So she's now making me like, okay, you got it ready. We're going to fly it, and it's going to go straight to the customer. That at least that coffee is already gone, but she's waiting on ordering more. But until protest leaves off a little bit, we're stuck on that. But that's what you take into account in a place like Panama.
Okay. So you've got some businesses that you're associated with, like the one in Boquete that you're roasting for. You send your beers away to people as well, right?
At the moment, I don't do that yet. There is a plan in the pipeline, and we did a first trial with a place in Cañas, and we could do that, but it's all about the deal they want to make on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I sell them enough here. If I do that, I'd be doing an extra effort. Then it's got to be worth it monetarily.
So when you first arrived here, you didn't have Spanish as a strong language. So was it hard to link up with, I know they speak a lot of English here, but was it hard to link up with people you wanted to supply? Like, was that a difficult process for you?
Well, when I came, it wasn't like that yet. We weren't talking, there weren't suppliers from city delivering out here. There was no like business to business. Cisco wasn't around yet. Pedersen, the ones I work with now since like 2-3 years. No, it was just like get your local produce, go to the Chino for some stuff, maybe go one time to Arriba Smith or to Price Mart in Santiago, do your own buys big. Then there started to be guys that were like, okay, we have a little business, just we go get your order at Price Mart. Then that started coming up, and then you got your big ones that came from city. All of a sudden it opened up like, okay, we're bringing. Most of that actually happened like begin of quarantine.
Okay.
That the big businesses just started distributing. Because,
Okay. So you did end up with some decent supply lines, and you've been going for how many years now? It's been about
the bar,
seven,
I'm here 6 years, so the bar will be open 5.5.
Nice. So you've been open for 5.5 years. What would you say, I think this is the most useful question, what would you say were like the biggest challenges when you started?
For me, electricity is always, in South America, you're always going to have a tough time with it. Like Panama is still pretty doable, but if Naturgy turns it off for 8 hours, and it's still a thing. I mean, I got a generator, we can run the bar on it, but I'm still not running the cold room on that. So if it goes out 8 hours, I'm starting to be like, my beer might get tainted. That's always a tough one.
And that would ruin a full batch? Would that ruin the batch?
If it goes way too high, that would not ruin a batch. That would ruin everything that's on ferment, which is at the moment something about 20, 30 kegs of beer.
Yeah.
But you learn. So I've had it go a little bit too high once, so you start using different yeast that can take it, yeast that don't give bad flavors at higher temperatures for when it happens, which maybe restricts your brewing a bit, but it's about, that's a challenge. What I found the biggest, not challenge, but opportunity is you gotta fit in, you gotta find your fit. I wasn't gonna brew here. I brewed one beer with my cousin back home as my going away beer. I knew how to, he had taught me. But when I came here, everybody started pulling my arm because back then you could only get a Soberana, Atlas Light, and Balboa
Just
here.
the Panama national
That's
beers.
it. The 3 National was the only thing that was around here.
Yeah,
So
and
the
they're not very nice.
So the people that knew me and saw my Instagram, my going away party, were already pulling my arm. Dude, you gotta brew, you gotta brew. So it started up with one pot.
Yeah.
It's, if you want to do a business here, it's very much at one, be flexible to do what, if you want to do what you like, there's always ways to find what part of what you like makes you money.
I
So
like that.
it's about finding a lot of things you like, trying them all out in small form, and then just rolling along with what is going well.
Okay.
I always made a separation a bit. Money that came off of beer goes back into beer.
Yeah.
Money that comes off of coffee goes into coffee. So that every part of my business only grew if it was doing well, not investing in something that is already like falling behind. Very much making sure that every part just get used for every part. That's why I stopped constructing. The casitas aren't pulling their weight this year. The beer is, so I'm looking to buy more kegs, clean up the cold room this year as the extra.
I see. Because this is a multifaceted business. It has many things going for it. You found it more easy to just keep them separate within their own kind of realm in terms of investing money. Because let's say beer's doing really good, but casitas aren't. Just with one bulk of money, I imagine you'd be like, oh, I can make more casitas. But that doesn't really make sense if they're not
because it's
making
not going
cash.
well. Yeah, that's, you gotta feel off the market very much here, and not only feel off the market. The people that I know that have done well, that have started up a business around here and kept it going, are the people that didn't start up a business. They started up an umbrella that does a few things. Because it is like that. Because you got your 6 months they come and 6 months they're home. You got their overall here, and you got your tourism. So you got these bases in the year where some part of your money gets made, but in between you also need something else. So that's why I took up the roasting gig for the finca, because that is steady income, while the tourism stuff goes up and down. Other people I know, they do markets, they sell dog cookies, they sell muesli for those in-betweens.
Yeah, right. Dog cookies and muesli.
If you come here and start a business, if it's mostly is going to be related to tourism, if you're coming from outside, unless you have a special link with something like coffee and you go to Buquete. But then you got to think tourism here is very cyclical. So you got your down months. If you save up nice, you can make it through that low season without doing another business.
Yeah.
But then you're just making it. You need to find something extra, something else, something besides the tourism part to do in the not touristy time. Because you're going to be free. You're going to have time.
So what did you choose? You chose the coffee for Boquete.
I was already busy with the coffee back then, so I really naturally rolled into it.
Okay. And I imagine those orders go up more during tourist season too, right?
Because it is mostly inland buying, not really. Those orders go with whether they have a new big client or something. Like now, I'm sending to one client, not to bag up and sell on in supermarkets. That is one cafeteria.
Yeah.
So those orders go up and down more like they lose a big customer, they get a big customer. But over the years, we've gone from 50 pounds in like 2 months to the last time that they were able to order up from Chiriquí, I had to roast. In the month, I roasted 1,200 pounds for them. So they've gotten a few new customers.
Which, just for the listeners, how much hours roasting roughly is that? How long have you sat behind your machine for to make?
The biggest one that I had to do in one block was 850 pounds.
Yeah.
And they sent me because there was a problem in the communication. They sent me on the Friday on the Thursday that needed to be done by Tuesday.
Yeah.
And basically there were 2 half days that the roaster was off. For all the rest of the time it was non-continuously going, and I worked from 8 in the morning until 10 in the evening.
Wow.
On those days to get it all done.
It's a big day.
Some moments it was a bit slower because I was meanwhile running the bar in the weekend.
So
this on.
With a multifaceted business, you have lots of things to manage and take care of all at once. Just for the people listening at home, when I turned up here, Dennis was putting compost in the garden in his own veggie patch. And then we've moved over to the beer brewing area, and then into the kitchen. There's some coffee roast. Oh, there's not coffee roasting right now, but there is some cakes baking in the oven. So Dennis is here managing multiple things all at once and testing and tasting and brewing beer at the same time. He's just run off now, so we'll take a little pause while he pulls cakes out of the oven. Okay, so I've just gotten Dennis back. He's gone and checked some cakes in the oven, make sure they weren't burning. That's part of Dennis's bigger passion, which he started way back when he was doing transport law in university. He took night school, like he said at the beginning, to follow his passion and interest in pastry. And I actually tried his bread the other day. Fantastic. Had about 5 different nuts in it. It was incredible. So I also would like to do things very similar to what you're doing. I like how you've just kind of taken all of your own thing and just turned it into stuff that you can do, and thankfully it's going well, and it's making you some coin, and brilliant. That's the goal, I think, for a lot of people, but a lot of people probably don't know how to do that. So I guess one thing that's useful when you try and do anything are tools. So do you have any tools that you use, be it, as simple as your like beer brewing equipment or whatever, all the way up to like mental or physical tools, whatever you can think of that have helped you with starting your business and everything you do?
I started doing everything alone, really everything. I made my own furniture, the first casita. Now it's renewed, but the first style casitas, I did everything. It was with suspended hanging beds. And that's kind of the thing here. When I came, it was do everything alone, make everything alone. If you need a pot that needs a thermometer, drill your own hole, do it all yourself. Yeah. That was a very rigid style, but now the game has changed. Now you can get stuff, and I'll say my best tool, we saw, man, those two old guys. The best tool here is an extra set of hands. An extra set of hands doesn't cost so much here. It's hard to get the right set of hands, but with the right set of extra hands, you have so much more done. I was doing everything from garden, from this. Now I know I do what I'm good at, that makes money, to then start building up guys that do the other stuff. There's enough gardeners around here. There's enough people that can paint, that can... at one point, you got to see what makes you money to just give labor to others. Yeah. That's the best tool I've noticed here. So it was kind of like taking account of your skills that made money first. Once you had the cash, you were able to go, right, this isn't I can do this, but it's not my strong point. I'd rather focus on this. I'm going to ask someone to come and do it for some cash. And you're going to tire yourself out. In this country, you're going to tire yourself out. The amount of water pumps that break because we're getting second-rate stuff. But it's not a big problem. It's not that costly when a water pump breaks. But if a water pump breaks, you got to make it in order. And you need that time. And that time takes away from time that you could be brewing. Could be like doing something else that potentially makes you more. And the workforce here, it's difficult to find good people, but once found, I got my 2 guys I work with. They're good, and they're not that pricey.
There you go.
Like
So
I make more on the time that I am selling beer in the business than they need to do the whole garden.
Mhm. So asking for help would be one of your like major tools with running your business. Getting an extra set of hands where you just didn't have hands for it.
Yeah.
Cool. So just asking for the right people. I guess this is rural Panama after all. Was there a bit of a process in finding the right people in, you know, a
The
fairly
right,
unpopulated
like,
area?
On skill, I kind of lucked into my first guy. Like, I had put out a demand like in the WhatsApp groups of the community, like, okay, I'm looking for a gardener to help with this and that and that. And the guy comes and he works for me for like 2-3 months, pretty good. He was called Gregory. And Gregory is like, yeah, but I'm moving to the States, so I'm not going to be coming anymore. But, and I'm very much so like, once I teach someone where all the stuff is, how my operation works, how I want things done, because I want things done my peculiar way. I'm European that way. Do it the right way. Like even my electrician knows, like everything needs to be underground up until where it reaches something, no loose wires in the air, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, I just trained you 2 months to know everything, and now you're gonna go to the States. And he's like, no, but I have a Tio. I'm gonna come with my Tio one day. I'm gonna let him get to know the stuff just with me for free. He's gonna help, and then he's gonna know the stuff too. And when he came with his Tio, this Tio was, I don't know, how old is it? The guy had got now a pretty old man. I was like, I need a hard working hand to. This pretty old man never picks up a phone, never does anything like that. He works slower, but he gets more done and in a more decent way for the finca. Like these young guys, they do something quick and then they're on their phone, do something quick again, and you got to repeat their work because it's not done the right way. So I lucked into Edgar, and everybody knows that I'm lucky on that.
Yeah.
Nobody has. Here you find a worker, you find a good garden worker. You might find somebody that welds good. You might find somebody that can do a bit of woodwork. But I have got this Colombian that came here that knows how to weld, knows how to build, knows how to woodwork, takes care of the garden, loves my animals. So I kind of lucked out. Like I've got a guy that's got a lot of skills, while here the skill level is often low.
Yeah.
As you don't have a practice school.
Yeah.
The system of schooling somebody to become a carpenter to then train with a carpenter, it doesn't work like that here.
Got you. So you lucked out is what I'm hearing, and I feel like sometimes along any journey the fortune has a lot to do with it. Well, not a lot to do, but like sometimes a major part, like for example where you end up or what you end up doing each day in your business. I'm looking at your majestic white goat right now. And I know that you said the other day that everyone wants a goat but always ends up with sheep. So was that like a lucky experience for you, getting the
Getting
goat?
that one? No, I actually didn't get that one. That was, again, kind of a hectic experience for me.
Yeah.
As I went to buy one goat. I went to buy one goat. I go there, he has a lot of goats in that fence. I'm already like, oh, poor animals, way too little space, way too much animals. So, of course, I don't leave with one goat. I leave with one goat and a sheep because let's save that sheep as well. Come on. I have space. I put that one goat and sheep into my fence. The goat was even like skinny, like underfed, and started feeding the goat. Wait. The thing of the Panama story, because this is very Panama story.
Okay.
Comes. I feed the goat. I feed the sheep very well.
Yeah.
They get fat. I'm like, wow, y'all are getting fat quick because you're getting good food.
You're actually
now.
getting food, yeah.
Yeah, you look over one day, all of a sudden there's a bloody mess there. I'm like, what the hell? Sheep fell out. This is Lynn, the daughter of Magali. Magali was the sheep I bought.
Yeah.
Lynn fell out of her on my terrain. She was pregnant. We didn't know. She was underfed. We didn't see. But we had an extra animal for the same price. 4 weeks later...
Yeah.
Same thing happens with Carolina.
Yeah.
And that is Hans. That small goat that fell out is now that huge white guy over there.
Oh my gosh.
But that's how things go here. They'll often be like, The prices are not incorrect. Okay, it's $40 for a sheep, so come on. It's not crazy.
No, good. It's not the worst.
But they'll have an advertisement with goats. You'll discuss to come get that goat from there. Everything's good. That goat on the picture I'm gonna go get. You get there, not a goat in sight. All my goats are in the other farm in Chitre. You want to go right now? You want to take another 2 hours out of your day, even though you've actually made like, I'm going to pass by, pick up the goat and go home?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't? You want to buy a sheep? I've got a sheep right here. But it's everywhere in the world, stuff like that.
Just to wrap up this segment of the interview, would you say that a petting zoo has been a vital component of your business, or more of just like a...
In all honesty, every component of my business that now people find like wow and it's fun and it's good are all just things I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted animals. I put down animals on my terrain. It became a bit of a petting zoo. People now love it. I wanted a tower. Many even called me foolish to put so much money in such a stupid structure, just a tower. Now the tower is often filled. People love hanging out up
sitting
there.
Up top so you can see everything.
Relax. You got more of a breeze up there. There's less mosquitoes. So everybody loves it. Same with the mini golf. I just thought like, well, let's start a little bit of a mini golf. Now it's a 9-hole golf. Often brings people.
Yeah.
Most of what I decided was just off of a personal, like, I like it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But you always gotta, as I say, look for what you like and like doing that is marketable. You start a little, you make 1 or 2 holes. People seem to like it, you build on. The tower was a big investment at once, but the goats was like, I bought 2 animals in the beginning, had 4 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe it works. We got more space, build out, get the pigs, which were this big too, and we're gonna be like about this big, but even with a trusted farm that I know very well, I still end up with pretty big pigs.
So just to finish this segment here, can you tell the listeners at home what your farm animals are named after?
They're all named after European friends of mine. And my cousin's in there too, because I got 2 pigs and only one of my friends is that big of a pig.
Nice. Thank you very much. We'll take a pause here just for a little break, and then we'll come back with the second part in just a moment. Thank you for listening to part 1 of our interview with Dennis. If you enjoyed what you heard, please jump over and give Cuckoo Crazy a follow on Instagram. Also, remember, the best way you can support this podcast is by liking and following Between Views on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music Podcasts. Also, if you know someone inspirational who deserves to be interviewed, please send us an email at betweenviewsbv@gmail.com or message us on Instagram. Thanks again, and see you soon. Between Views.